Yo, alright. About to get this old bloody dog out there again, and you know, every time I turn up and look at this boat, I'm not kidding, I go, holy crap, how big is this thing? This thing just doesn't cease to surprise me how big it is, and I sort of go, every time I see it, what have I done? Do I need a boat this big? But let's not take my word for it. I thought it might be interesting if I get out the old measuring tape and we start doing a couple of interesting measurements today. So not just like, you know, the standard stuff, like, so you know the length of the hull, that's published, but let's look at width, depth, internal width, cabin height, cabin length, head height, all sorts of crap. So, you know, because when you read up specifications on a boat, they never really tell you everything you need to know. They tell you the absolute basics. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's see how big this thing is. All right, bunch of measurements in no particular order. Bunch of random measurements that you'll never see on the brochure. Okay, first I'm going to do the pretty much the depth of the hull. Now I'm going to go from here to the bottom of the hull, which I know the bottom of the hull is about 1 centimeter below that trailer there, or maybe an inch below. So let's go from here down to there. So we've got, by the looks of it, let's say 1.1 meters. Let me just try that again. Or maybe, yeah, maybe a touch more. 1.15 meters, I would say that is. All right, let's keep moving. To the back of the boat. Now what I might do is across the transom here. It's a bit hard without anyone holding it for me, but I'll do my best. Let's have a look what we've got. About to there. So across the top, to the back of the transom, we've got 2.15 meters. I'm not going to be able to get across the bottom. All right, come around here. Let's have a look on the side here. So I'm not going to do the top of the boat. I'm just doing to here, the bottom of the. We'll just go to the bottom of the rubber. All right, 65 centimeters. Let's try that again up here. So we've got about 67 centimeters. All right, time to jump on board. Let me climb up. There's crap in the way, of course. All right, let's have a look at a bit of width across here. Now I've got myself a point there where I know it's going to match up, okay, which is there. So to the outside, sorry, give me a minute. Got to get in the right spot. To the outside of the boat there, we have 2.37. That's not the widest spot. I can see the boat basically flares out further ahead, so I'm not going to be able to get a measurement on that, unfortunately. But let's do some internal measurements on the floor to give you an idea of the cockpit size. So I'm going to measure. All right, now I'm going to measure all the way from the front, all the way to the back kind of wall. So what is the total cockpit length? If you want to move back a bit, please, Jacob. I'll do it in 2 sections here just to make sure I get it accurate. So the total usable cockpit length here, we've got let's say 1.65. 1.65. So we're talking usable cockpit length here. 165 plus 185. All right, so what's that? 1.6 plus 1.85, so that'd be 3.45 meters if my brain doesn't fail me. So I've got 3.45 meters total length. And now let's do I'll do a couple of width checks here across the floor. So you guys can see the sort of internal width along the floor line. we have got exactly 1.9 meters across there. So someone can do the math. Wait. So look, 1.9 is kind of in the middle here. It gets a little bit wider at the front. It gets a touch narrower at the back. But let's just do a bit of a, what did I say? 3.45 times 1.9. So that's 6.55 meters total kind of space. But hey, just to be a little bit more accurate, I'm going to subtract the engine box here. Let's have a look at that. Engine box, 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters, just a minute, by 88 centimeters. Sorry, let me get my calculator. I'm just going to say 0.9. So it's 0.9 times 0.6. So we've got half a cubic meter for the engine box. So 6.55 minus half cubic meter. So basically got roughly 6 square meters in here. All right, Jacob, come over to the back for a second, please. Now what I'm going to do, go under there. Now what I'm going to do, just take a seat, is have a look at some head height factors, because head height, you know, is a bit of an issue with this hard top. So lucky for me, I'm pretty short, right? So it doesn't absolutely destroy me. All right, so let's have a look at the head height from the back here, standing on the highest point of the back floor. Okay, exactly 169.5 to there, roughly, or close to 170. So the reason that it works okay though is because when you walk under this part here, as I've said before, you actually step down into the footwell. Jacob, if you could show them there. So like, if I'm just walking naturally, and I honestly don't even realize, I have to duck a little tiny bit to step down into there. So it actually works quite well. And when you step out, you naturally just time it. So you step out, you take a step, and you stand up. So walking out, there's no problem at all. Walking down, you do need to be a tiny bit careful. All right, 169.5. Now I'm going to check from the floor down here in the lower spot. And this is basically why I have not put a fuel tank in here, because it's the only spot that I can stand up under the hardtop. Okay, let's have a look. I've got exactly 1.84 meters. So that's not too bad, all things considered. 1.84 meters. All right, let's have a look in the cabin. Now, what I'll do, come up here, Jacob, keep coming, keep coming. What I'm going to do here is I'll do a total length. I'll do basically from this front vertical wall to the vertical wall here, and we'll see what sort of, you know, that's how other boats would measure their bunk length, basically. It's not the perfect way to do it, but it's kind of the way that it is done. All right, all the way to here. So we've got a 1.86 meters there, which is actually not too bad. And my bar crusher had 1.7, and I always thought this was a little bit bigger because I couldn't really get comfortable in the bar crusher cabin. So 1.8, what did I say, 1.8 something, sorry, let me just do that again, I've forgotten. 1.86 and a half. All right, let's do some head height factor. So when you're sitting up in here, how much height do you have? So you've got 90 centimeters. So when I sit up in here, come in here, Jacob, for a second, I can sit up. My hair, which is quite long at the moment, is just kind of reaching against the roof, and I'm sitting like 100% upright at the moment. If I wanted to sort of slouch down or back a little bit, you could still sit up reasonably comfortably, even if you're a little bit taller than me. So roughly 1.85 meters. The cabin here is actually pretty good, to be honest. So about 6 inches longer than the old bar crusher. All right, what else haven't we done? Let me step out. Geez, I think we've pretty much covered it. So yeah, I don't know if you've found that interesting. Let me just do it. I'm just going to do a little check along here while I'm here. At 1.9 in the middle of the boat. We have about 1.92 there. Let's have a look at the top, just because the top does flare out a little bit, just so you're totally aware, to do a proper test. We have 1.93. So look, you've got about 6 square meters of genuine deck space. You've got 1.85 length in the cabin. You've got roughly 1.85 head height if you're standing in the well. I think it was 1.69 off memory if you're standing up on the highest spot there. External beam of the boat would be very close to 2.5 meters, 2.4 something. And then the hull length without anything added, like the bowsprit, the anchor, or the actual boarding, the marlin board at the back, is 7.01 meters. So anyway, that's how big she is. Hope you guys found that interesting. It may mean something, it may mean nothing, but hey, now you can go and measure your own boats and see how the old Crusader compares. Alright, chat to you guys soon.